Oh my God, it's good to see you, my friend. How the heck are you?
I'm pretty good, Phil, and you too.
Pretty good. You look, man, you walked in the door and I go, how much weight have you lost? You told me what, 70 something pounds?
75 pounds, yeah. Well, I'm
Congratulations.
heading toward 100.
Wow.
That's my goal.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did it pretty fast, so my body's still adjusting to all this. It's going, what are you doing?
But you're doing a keto kind of based
Yeah,
diet, so you're not
yeah,
hungry at any time,
I
right?
am not hungry.
Right.
I mean, I don't understand at all how this works. I think I'm supposed to be eating more fat, and I think
That's right.
I would lose weight even more.
Yes.
But I basically eat at lunchtime my main meal, and I don't eat much at dinner. And Jenny makes these great meatballs for breakfast, so a meatball and a hard-boiled eggs breakfast.
Jenny, that sounds good to me. Oh my God, that
So
sounds.
anyway,
I got to tell you something funny. I did the same thing, and I used to tell my wife from Costa Rica she loves fat on meat, and I'd say, Ruth, that is very unhealthful. You've got to stop that.
mhm.
Recently, I had to say to her, hey, you were right.
You were right.
Yeah,
The body needs the fat for the energy. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Well, hey, we're here to talk about the BART Hall Show. It's going to be incredible. It's been a part of everyone's lives. You just ran into Jeff Jessup. He owns this place. He said, I've been going since I was a little kid. We got a little change this year, though, however, right? We're going to do this starting in January.
We changed the dates to January. It's the last week in January, 25th to the 28th, and it's going to from 5 days to 4 days. And it's changing time doesn't matter to me. We used to be 10 days, and we were the first guys to go to 5, and then we went to 4 down in Del Mar, and we're going to go to 4 here because it works out better for the retailers. I think the same amount of people will show up in 4 days that do in 5,
Yeah.
but it'll be easier on the retailers and the dealers. And so we're really looking forward to it. We had some things that went on in 21 and 22, and we couldn't do anything legally, and now we're back full bore. And I wish we were still calling it the Fred Hall Show,
I know you do.
because I would rather go to my grave honoring my father's
Of
name than
course.
having it be mine. But legally, we can't do it, so it's the BART Hall Show.
Yeah. I mean, I had so many good times with your dad. I really totally remember when Bud Frillo, I was doing radio with him, and your dad knew him really
He
well.
really well.
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
was a really fun little
it
get
was.
together
And
before.
you were heavy then
Oh
too.
my God, I was at my heaviest. I probably had you beat. I was 425.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a big boy.
I was 333.
Oh, I had you, bro.
Yeah,
You're
I
a
know. I was a
lightweight, man.
piker.
What's wrong with you? That's funny. The other day we were doing a live show and people started commenting on the show. And all of a sudden I look up there, there's somebody from Taiwan, the Philippines, Mexico, Florida, Missouri, all over California, all of these people. So while many people know what the BART Hall Show, the Fred Hall Show is, why don't you tell everybody what is it exactly? Why should I go to the BART Hall Show?
Well, we're going to steal Mike Lum's slogan that he gave us, and I've asked him if I can use this, and it's okay. We are the ultimate outdoor experience. So what we want to do is we want to create new fishermen, and we want to cater to the people who are already fishermen. But we also want to do every form of outdoor recreation. That's why we're going to have hundreds of boats at our shows, all in an indoor environment. We're going to have some overland stuff this year. We're really working toward that
That's great.
because we're expanding the fly fishing section. And think about our trout pond, the Mammoth Lakes Kid Fish Free Trout Pond. We put, we didn't keep exact records, so a conservative estimate, and this is very conservative, it could be much more, is about 1.5 million kids since 1946.
Wow.
Now,
That's amazing.
they got married, they had children, they had
Yeah.
grandchildren. I mean, how many people have we started in fishing? Well, that's our real goal. We want to continue to do that. I don't care what's sold at the show. I'm not a manufacturer, I'm not a retailer. I want people to come and have a good time. And we decided, this is my dad's idea, it's not mine. My dad decided that he wanted to provide a full day's worth of family fun. And that's what we try to do. That's why we have the jumping dogs, and we have the duck races, and we have kids casting contests, and trout pond, and air gun ranges, and archery ranges, and over 400 seminars in 4 days. That's a lot of stuff. We want to entertain people. My dad said one time, he said, "Look, we have a lot of boats at this show. No man's coming to this show to buy a boat without his wife."
Yeah, that's right.
So we have to make sure the families come.
Very smart.
We want to get everybody here. So
Yeah.
that's what we've always tried to do. We wanted the families to come in, and we've been successful at that. As a matter of fact, I find this very funny. One of the things that children love to do most is run around on the boats. Now, the boat dealers hate it, but the children love it, and they go, "Mom, Dad, let's buy this one." They don't know the guy. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy seeing the crowds having a good time.
Yeah, and the kids running around and
Yeah.
enjoying themselves. Kids need the outdoors more than any time in my lifetime. They need it more now than I think it's essential. And I think there's something, maybe nature deficit disorder. Kids are not getting outdoor. They're not getting vitamin D anymore or vitamin SEA, and it's essential to their growth and their well-being for the future. And kids are on their phones. They're doing that kind of nonsense, which just
I think
isn't a good thing.
I think you're right. And I think it's really serious. This is not a joke.
Right.
This is serious. And so we try to make it fun for them. Now, I have heard from many parents over the years that their kids never want to go to any of the events they go. They don't want to stay home over the last few years.
Yeah.
He said, but when it comes to our show, they want to come because they have a good time.
Yeah.
And so that's what we want to keep doing. We're going to make sure that they have a good time. Of course, we're going to have great deals on fishing tackle, and we have wonderful retailers who have been putting stuff away all year so they can sell it cheaply and people can get good deals. So, it's a real honor to be able to do this. And look, it's the best industry in the world. Most of the people in the fishing business could make a lot of money in another industry,
Yeah,
a
for
lot
sure.
more money.
For sure.
But they have the passion for fishing, and that's the core of it. I mean, I talk about outdoor recreation. I believe in all that, but the core of it for us is fishing and hunting. I'm one of my biggest retailers. The guy who runs it, more of a hunter than a fisher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we like all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So what are the dates of the Long Beach show?
They're January 25th to the 28th. So that will be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll open at noon on Thursday and Friday and close at 7. We're going to open at 10 on Saturday and Sunday. We'll close at 7 on Saturday, and we'll close at 6 on Friday.
Okay.
I'm on Sunday.
Very good.
Yeah.
Can people get their tickets now, or is it too early?
Pretty soon they will. Through Tixar, they can get them now.
Okay. Oh, they can.
Yeah. But our people really come and buy them at the door.
Yeah,
They're so used to doing that, But yeah, I think there's a service charge for getting them online.
Oh, okay. Okay. So good idea to just show up and buy your ticket there,
If
right?
you don't mind waiting in line for a few minutes, just save a couple bucks.
And are you doing the deal with CCA again this year? Is that a deal?
Yeah, well, we're doing something now. I haven't quite figured out
Yeah,
yet.
we're early. We're taping this in November before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but they want a bigger presence inside, and they're kicking off. CCA is kicking off the big fishing tournament, that the Star Tournament that they do all around the country. Now they're starting it here, and they've obtained from West Coast Marine a Parker boat that they're going to be giving away to the person who wins the Star Tournament.
Fantastic.
So they want a bigger space inside. They don't have enough volunteers to do that and do outside. So we're kind of trying to figure out how that all is going to work.
Okay, and you're going to be back, people that are watching us now. Bart will be back like a couple weeks before the show actually starts.
Right. Now I'll have the answers to those questions for sure. And there will be something. If you're a CCA member, you're going to get treated well. Yeah.
All right, excellent. You mentioned 400 seminars. That is mind-boggling. Everything from how to use your fish finder to, you will take it away. I mean, people
Well,
can come
you're
and
right.
learn.
Well, we have the largest marine electronics section of any show in California. Thanks to Joe Donatini, who comes down here from San Francisco and gets all those manufacturers involved. And we have a huge, and then we do seminars about learning how to use that stuff. We do fly fishing seminars. We do trout fishing seminars. We do seminars for bluefin. We do seminars for anything we can think about. Matter of fact, we have more requests for guys to do seminars than we have spots.
Yeah,
We simply can't accommodate everyone.
that's
So
amazing.
sometimes I just have to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or we spread them out. Now we're starting to spread them out. They don't do them every day. We'll give them, 2 days or 3 days, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it strikes me as this is the perfect opportunity for someone who doesn't know anything about fishing, maybe a single mom who has a couple kids, and she's thought like, yeah, I'd like to get them into something like that, but I have no idea how to do it. This is a perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You go outside to fishing in the city with Brian Young, and he will teach your children how to cast. He'll put rods and reels in their hands and show them, and they'll have fun. And there's a little contest and whatever. And then they can go to the trout pond and they can catch a fish, and all of a sudden they're hooked. So,
And it
yeah,
happens that fast and that easy.
it,
It
it
really
re-
does.
it does. I remember the day my father died. He died on Saturday. He went in for actually elective surgery on a Friday. Complications arose. They told us to get down there, and so we got down. And he died Saturday morning. So I called into a radio show and I announced that my father had passed. And when we got to the convention center, they tried to put us in this room with flowers, and it drove me nuts. So I had to go walk out on the floor. Hundreds of people stopped me and said, I caught my first fish at your dad's show. My kids caught their first fish at your dad's show. And today my grandchildren will catch their
What a
first fish.
legacy.
Oh, it makes me cry.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's a big deal.
And I get what you're talking about because sometimes when someone passes away, you're overcome with this grief and everything else, but you got to stop and you got to say to yourself, I'm guessing this is what you did. What would my dad have me do right now? Would he have me sit here with all these flowers, or would he send me out on the floor to greet people and keep the legacy moving ahead?
That's exactly what happened. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, what other kinds of exhibits do you have? Is there any cooking anything with
Well,
regard
we
to
didn't
cooking or
we
anything
didn't
like
have any
that?
cooking last year because it was just Ginny and I putting this thing together. I mean, we had people helping us, but they didn't know anything about how to do it. And so
This is, by the way, in case this is one big job. Jenny and I were joking. I was telling her I've got a Christmas party December 2nd, with 100 people coming, and I'm losing my mind. Not thousands of people coming, and it's a big job.
it is a big job, and you want to put yourself in the place of every one of your customers, as I do. I want to treat them as if that was my business. So that's what we try to do. There's advertising that has to be done. There's all kinds of marketing stuff that has to go. I write the commercials. So there's a lot of work. And so this year I thought it would be easier, but it really isn't. It takes more than a year for these to learn everything. So we're still doing most of the work. By next year, it will be much easier for us.
And our Spanish speaking brothers and sisters out there have always come to the show and always enjoyed it. I know that. So, once again, I can even say, hey, por favor, tienes que ir al show de BART Hall en enero. Va a ser un tiempo increíble por ti y por su familia. It's going to be a great time for everybody and their family. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I know my limitations, and so I'm doing marketing and all and the selling and all this stuff. But I have a guy helping me run the business part. And he speaks perfect Spanish.
Yeah.
He was down in Peru for a long time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's great. So the trout pond, how does that work? Is there an extra cost or?
No. Once you come in the door, it's all there.
Yeah, great.
You don't pay for anything else.
You take the kids in
Except for a
there?
beer, if you want to buy a beer.
Exactly. Believe me, I know
I know.
how costly that can
I
get.
know. And then, we get people think we don't get any of that money.
No, right,
And
exactly.
we don't get the parking money either. That's all goes to the city. But the city is they don't understand. Long Beach is about 25% smaller than it used to be because when they expanded the convention center, they only had a place called Hall C, and then they added B, and then they added A. And when we first started, we only did Hall C, and then we took the lobby where Anglers Marine is.
Yeah.
And then we took the sports arena and we put booths in there and boats around the outside. Now we have so many boats, that's all boats in there, all boats in the lobby. And we used to have Hall B and Hall A. Well, the Convention and Visitors Bureau has taken Hall A and they give it to these small conventions, trade shows.
Yeah.
Where they only get 1,500, 2,000 people, but they're used in hotel rooms at night.
Yeah.
And that's why. So we're working really hard to get all that space back, and hopefully by next year or the year after, we'll have all the space back. But we'll have everything filled up. This is still a lot bigger than anything around.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. How are you feeling about the January date? It strikes me as the perfect time to, you click over the calendar, man, it's time to get ready for 2024. You're going to be the first show.
I think the landings like it because, there's a little bit downtime there. And in March when we were, they're all doing trips in March.
Nowadays,
I know
yeah.
the Independence is out.
Yeah.
Everybody's out,
Yeah.
So January is better for them. It's better for the lodges in Alaska. It's better for a lot of people. Some of the reps who are in do both fall goods, hunting and fishing. We're the same week as the SHOT Show, which is a trade show for hunting. And some of the reps are complaining about that, but mostly I think everybody likes it. And if you look across the country, shows like ours mostly occur in January
Yeah.
and early February.
Yeah.
And so I think we're right there. There's the ISC show up north in Sacramento. They've always been the third week in February. So, yeah.
That's great. That sounds fantastic.
Huh? Oh God, yes, that's the other thing. Because of our time in March,
Yeah.
we're right next to the Grand Prix.
Right.
So they took half of our parking lot.
Yeah.
As they set up.
I remember that.
That's gone.
Oh, that's nice.
We're going to have great close-in parking. This will be the best parking we've ever had for the Long Beach show.
That is
We've always had
fantastic.
good parking at Del Mar, because it's so large. The parking is so, and they're good enough to run shuttles down there, and so that's pretty easy too.
All right. So you mentioned just a second ago Alaska lodges. If you are interested in fishing worldwide, there certainly is a good showing there with fishing from Mexico to Alaska to maybe Costa Rica, all around the world. People can get information about that and actually talk to the people from those lodges.
Yeah, which I think is important.
Me too.
We all love the internet, but really anybody can look good on the internet.
Yeah, even me.
You do look
A little
good.
plastic surgery and I'll be okay, Bart.
You do look good on the internet. But the thing is that when you get to actually meet the people, you get a feel for it.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. For me, that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Those days, it seems like they're gone, but I don't believe that. You shaking somebody's hand, looking them in the eye, asking them the questions that you want answered about your potential trip to their area is really important.
Yeah, and they know better than anybody because that's what they live. That's where they do their business. So I think that's really an important part of the show.
Yeah, and so like if you want to get up on your knot tying and that kind of stuff, that's also something that you're going to run out of hours in the day. It seems like to me, right?
Yeah, Eiserline will be there showing you how to do.
Wendy, who does a great job.
Wendy Tashihara, she's unbelievable. Works her butt off, and we're really happy to have Eiserline in there doing that, showing their things. They've been doing that for years. Russ Eiser was the first seminar speaker ever at our shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, at the Great Western Exhibit Center. My dad said, why we should start doing some seminars. And he was talking to Russ and says, Russ, would you do a seminar? Yeah, sure. That was it.
He was great too.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
I did some radio with him for quite some time, and then I actually was asked to do his eulogy on the boat when they laid his ashes out. So love Russ. He was a great guy. Well, that's another great little
guy.
thing about the yeah. I mean,
What a guy.
yeah.
All those guys. You know, that whole generation of guys were really great guys.
Yeah, no question about it. Are there any other shows? I mean, we've talked about the Long Beach show, but let's talk about what else is in the future for the BART Hall shows this year.
Well, we're doing our show in Del Mar, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the show for San Diego. San Diego's the 5th largest city in the United States, 2nd largest in California, and we're down there. We're the biggest boat show, the biggest fishing show, the biggest outdoor recreation event of the year, and we've been doing that for 46 years down there, and we're looking forward to it again.
When is that going to be?
That'll be February 15th through the 18th.
Oh, my dad's birthday. Nice going there, February 15th. I like that.
Yeah. I tried to, President's Day is the 19th, and I tried to get it from the 16th through the 19th and do it on the holiday. And everybody, all the retailers went, oh, okay, fine. We'll go back to the 15th to the 18th.
And then you're doing a boat show at Pomona also,
We're
right?
doing a boat show, but that is just boats and marine accessories.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a couple of hardcore lodges that go to that show because they insist that I said, okay, fine. I said, but you realize I'm only talking about boats and marine accessories. They said, we don't care. And they usually do pretty good. But
Yeah.
we don't have a lot of them. But it's, yeah, that's going to be, we have every kind of boat at that show. We typically at Long Beach and in Del Mar, we will have, we'll have fishing boats, we'll have pontoon boats, we'll have wake boats. That's typically what we have. When we get to the boat show, up there, we've got high performance boat. We got the fastest boats in the world.
Oh, wow.
You know, we got all of the high performance boats are there, and it's actually kind of a lot of fun.
Yeah, heck yeah. I would. I haven't been to that show. I don't think.
Well, it was last year was the first year.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Well, they did it before, but it's the first year I've ever done it there, and I thought it was kind of really fun. And the people who really liked it were the high performance boats. They just thought it was fantastic.
Great.
So we're getting all set to do that again.
Anybody you care to mention that's going to be there? I'm pretty sure Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle told me, yeah, I'm in, man. I'll be there. Sam's going to be there for sure.
Sam is a wonderful person.
Yes.
A big supporter of CCA.
Yep.
A really smart guy.
Yep. Don't listen to any of this, Sam.
Yeah, Sam. Well, I don't want to blow his head up too big.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but you know, Turner's is one of our sponsors, and Turner's will be there.
Yeah.
And Shimano's one of our sponsors, and so is Akuma, so is Accurate, you know, so AFCO. I mean, we're in Daiwa. We're going to have everything there that needs to be there, and one of my friends is Sal Vallone from Bob Sands.
Yeah.
And Sal has been a really big help in putting this all together.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, really big help.
That's great.
And really appreciate what he did. And he told me last year that he sold 50% more last year than he did in 2020, which was the last show that he was in.
Yeah.
And then Turner set a 40-year sales record in Del Mar last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, how great is that?
It's unbelievable.
I mean,
man.
because, here you come and you start out with a bang like that. That's fantastic. Jenny, did you have something? You go ahead. You can interject. Progressive.
We want to thank them for being our title sponsor once again. You know, we just signed another 3-year contract with them, so we're going to be part of their stable for a long time, and they really help us.
Yeah.
They get us they get us some good advertising rates, and we're able to do more because they're our title sponsor.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Man, it sounds like this is going to be a great season for you. Do you have enough time to get it all together?
No. I can tell you that right now. I do not have enough time.
But you're going to keep trying.
I'm going to keep trying. I'll do the best I can. We'll get it as good as we can get it, and then I'll be going, oh, yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
But we're hoping by next year our staff will be more solidified, and it's going to go a lot smoother. For 2 people to do this, like Jenny and I, it's nearly impossible. Matter of fact, I got so many comments from major manufacturers last year that this is a miracle what you did.
Yeah.
Two of you doing this together
Yeah.
in 4 months, it was a miracle.
We had Katie and Susie.
Yeah, right. We did have family members.
Yeah.
But only toward, we had Susie all the time, but Susie did not know the business, and Katie came on at the end. And Katie is our daughter-in-law who's been working with us for
I know
30 years.
Katie.
She's an invaluable part of this team.
She's a real people person. I mean,
Yeah.
she saw me at Del Mar when
Yeah.
I was going to your show,
Yeah.
and just boom, how are you? Thank you for coming. Just a lovely person.
Yeah, she's going to be taking it over when we say goodbye.
That's a long time now that you lost 75 pounds. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to keep you kicking for a few more years.
Well, hopefully. Yeah.
If you were looking at a family of 4 or 3 or whatever, this is a great day for family fun. You said that. I think your father wanted to provide that for people, and you're striving to continue that great tradition to make this a family fun. And we're not kidding around when we say you can go all day long and not see the whole show and not experience everything there is to experience.
If you want to visit with everybody in every booth, you're not going to be able to do it in a day. I mean, you can walk by and look at them, but if you want to actually find out what they do, talk to them, get to know them, no, you can't. And then all the entertainment things we have, it's we want to make sure that people are having a good time. And the boats. Now, it was so funny because last year when we started, boats were like the year before, you couldn't get a boat. And when you did get a boat, it was sold immediately. All the boats shipped out to the West Coast from back east were all pre-sold.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, sales started to slow a little bit.
Yeah.
And then interest rates went up. Well, now boat dealers, they're really looking forward to these shows. And they're going to be making deals because, boat dealers have to floor those things. They have to pay a bank to keep them on their lot.
That's
so
right.
They want to get rid of them.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of good deals at our shows on boats. Lots.
As there will on tackle, right?
On tackle,
you mentioned
same
that,
thing.
but
Yeah.
Same thing.
Everybody, Turner's has 2 very large spaces at each show. And, and Bob Sands has a huge space as well. Sam's space is a little bigger this year from Island Tackle. And we have, we have other San Diego tackle traders and different people will be coming in and out as we go forward. So.
One of the things, and we haven't talked about this yet, but one of the things I always looked forward to when I was a kid going to the Fred Hall Show was seeing the people that perhaps I had fished with during the year, had a brief encounter with them, maybe a day or two, and I haven't seen them since, and life gets busy, and you're going to school, or you're working, or you've got a family, and then all of a sudden, you're walking along the show, and you go, "Hey, Charlie, God, remember that trip we were on?" And then renewing those friendships and that community of outdoorsmen is such an integral part of the show.
You're absolutely right, Phil. I mean, that's what people talk about. I mean, they can't wait to do it. They cannot wait to get there and see other people. And I do it too. I'm walking down, "Hey, how are I haven't seen you for a couple of years."
Yeah.
And it's a community. We're part of that community, and we cherish it, and we want to strengthen it. We want to keep it going. We want to make it better. We want to do, and we're open to suggestions. You want to see some of the show? Get in touch with me. I'll see what I can do. That's part of what we do.
Is there room for people that may want to have a booth at the show? Can they contact you still
always,
or not?
Always.
Yeah.
I've always said there's always room for one more.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to make room for one more.
And how do they contact you? Do they go to the
They go
website?
to hallshows.com.
Yeah.
And there's a website there, and there's phone numbers and all kinds of stuff. And then eventually you get to me, and I'll give you my cell phone like an idiot. And then my cell phone.
I do the same exact
I
thing.
know, my cell phone rings nonstop all day long.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I get like 100 messages a day. And
I know.
then every once in a while I'll be laying in bed at 2:00 in the morning. I'll wake up and I'll say, "I didn't answer that guy's inquiry of 2 weeks ago," and I'll go start looking through my stuff. And so if I've forgotten anybody, please just hit me again.
I did that last night.
Really?
Remember? Yeah. Well, we went up to San Luis Obispo yesterday to watch my granddaughter compete in this big CrossFit competition, which she won, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Got paid for it.
Oh, great.
And And so, but then we went to dinner, and I'm like going through. Oh, I gotta answer this. I gotta answer this. I gotta answer it. You know, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah, it
Think
is.
about it. We didn't used to have to do this. We would call people, or you'd be
Right.
driving in the car, and you'd have, if you had to call somebody, you get over, you have pay phone, you put. Now we've got to talk to people on the phone. We got to answer texts. We got to answer
Oh my God.
emails. We got to answer social media. It's overwhelming, really.
It really is. You know, I'd be happy if there was just one place where that all took place, but now there's messages on Instagram and TikTok and your email and your text, and it's like, oh my God, now I know I have no hair left. That's why.
You look good without hair.
Oh my God, it gets to be too crazy. I can't wait for this year's shows to start, man. And I know there's a lot of people out there who feel the same way. And we referenced it, but I'm going to hit it one more time again. We're not kidding around how important this experience, the outdoors, and this could be the door opening for kids, how important it is to kids and how they grow up and how they, kids that don't know anything about nature are not going to grow up to take care of it. So
No,
it's so important right now.
it is, and I'm thinking about, we have a bass bin that we actually rent from somebody right now, although I may buy it by next year. And kids get to see that. We used to have a saltwater tank. I'm going to try to get that reestablished so we can do that again. Kids, like I said, they loved Brian Young. I mentioned him before.
Who is Brian? I mean, I know who Brian
He,
is, but tell everybody.
he works for the Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Such a nice guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
And he runs the Fishing in the City program.
Yes.
So he sets up with his volunteers and they teach kids how to cast. And they have casting contests. We have, they have to cast into these things that we had made, these barrels. And it doesn't matter if they win or lose, they're having a ball learning how to do this.
Right.
And then there's right next to them, there's the trout pond where they go and then there's archery right here. And then there's air gun ranges over here. Outdoor recreation.
I used, as a teacher,
Yeah.
I used to bring kids.
Yeah, Jenny used to teach the pregnant minor program down in South Central Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. That's
And,
great, Jenny.
And she would bring these children, because they were children, up to the show, and we'd get them in ahead of time, and we'd have Judy Packner, and we'd have people, females from the Fish and Wildlife Department to come over and tell them and help them, and they'd go do all this stuff, and then they'd finally get to the trout pond, and they start catching fish, and Jenny would say, "Well, it's time to go home now." "No, we're not leaving. We're not going home." And they'd put their hands in the worms, and like the plastic worms. It's just so. And we're gonna have some RVs too this year.
Yeah.
Because I want to have every part of outdoor recreation that we can possibly get. We want people getting out of the cities, getting away from. You want to take your phone with you? Go ahead and take it with you, but get out and use it in the forest.
Yeah.
Go to Convict Lake. Go to Mammoth. Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Jenny could probably relate to this. When I was teaching in China, I've taught in Costa Rica, Mexico, China, a little bit here, but I always went into every single class as not only a teacher, but I had to be an entertainer, because if you can't get kids interested in what it is you're trying to sell them, whether it's world geography or another language or whatever, you have to get them motivated. Then they're not going to learn. And same thing here, man. You go to this show and you excite kids about the possibilities. I don't know any kids who go out on a sport boat and see a shark or a whale or catch their first fish who are not on cloud nine after that experience.
Absolutely. It is a life-changing experience to catch a fish. There's no doubt about it. And look at my grandson got his hunting license when he was, I think, 9 years old. Did it on his own. Passed everything. Passed all the safety tests and everything. And that's all part of it. I like hunting as much as I like fishing. And I think as long as you eat what you shoot, it's a good thing. And so I get very nostalgic when this comes around, because I started. Well, my dad went to his boss in 1944, and they had the business of ushers, ticket sellers, and gatemen at all the sporting events in Southern California.
Yeah.
But my dad grew up in Florida as a fisherman and a little bit of a hunter, and he would run along the beach and knock pompano up, put him in his wagon, and he'd catch fish on a can with a thing, and he'd dive for lobsters and sell them to little Joes.
What a great childhood.
Yeah, so he comes out here and he says to his boss, who ended up being my godfather, said, "Well, why don't we do a sportsman show?" And the famous answer was, "What the hell's a sportsman show?" So I was born in 45, and the first show was April of 46, and so we've been going on an upward trajectory ever since then.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know so many people who this has become a ritual. They have to attend. It's tradition.
Yeah.
It's kind of tradition in their families. I did it. My kids, same thing with them. And if they ever get around to having kids, they're, I'm sure, going to be doing the same exact thing. It's just a rite of passage if you are an outdoorsman in California.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing, and a testament to my father and his vision. And I'm kind of proud to be involved in it
Sure,
still, and
of course.
we're pretty excited actually about this year and next year as well. I see, I'm always working a year ahead of time
Yeah,
because you got to, and you got to secure venues, you got to get dates.
yeah, right.
So yeah, we're into it full time again, and it's great to be here.
I'm woefully ignorant when it comes to hunting. So I could ask you some questions from a person who's woefully ignorant. I'm good at that, by the way, being woefully ignorant.
You're very good at what you do, so you don't have to, it doesn't matter if you're woefully ignorant.
So I have no idea, but it sounds like something maybe I'd like to do. Can I walk
You-
into the show
you-
and
You can go dove hunting with us next year.
really?
That's my favorite thing is dove hunting.
Really?
Yeah, because those little things, they don't fly in a straight line. They go like this. And, you go through 4 boxes of shells. Maybe you get 5 doves.
They're hard to hit, aren't they?
They're hard. Yeah,
Yeah,
difficult.
I know.
It's fun.
And where do you do dove hunting?
Well, we go up to Bakersfield
Yeah.
and hunt up there because we have some friends that have some property up there. We go up and just sit there, and my boys go. My dad started. He brought me, and then we brought my boys, and then they brought their boys and the friends, and we just all go together.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Rick Effinger, who runs Marina del Rey Sport Fishing, he goes to Mexico all the time, San Quintin area.
Oh yeah,
He calls it cast and blast.
Yeah.
He goes fishing and he goes hunting at the same time. He says there's nothing better.
my dad did that down there.
Oh, really?
As a matter of fact, my dad was a real good shot. I'm terrible. Jenny's the best shot in the family.
Really?
Oh yeah, she's really good. And
Better be careful.
I know. And so they would. My dad says, well, they had me standing in the water, and he says I was shooting dove, and they'd hand me another shotgun, and I'd shoot, and I just get to my shoulder was all sore. They're rubbing it down, but they had this big festival, and we ate all these dove, and we caught all these fish, and we ate all these fish. So it was a lot of fun.
How are dove to eat? Are they good?
My granddaughter, who just won this competition, that's her favorite thing.
Really?
So I make a homemade teriyaki sauce. I breast the dove. I don't use the whole dove, just the breast. Marinate it in this teriyaki sauce. Wrap it in bacon. Grill it. Good to go.
Man, that sounds so good.
It is good. It's a dark meat. It's not light meat, but it's really good. And we do some quail and pheasant too. Quail is my favorite bird to eat. Mostly I just do bird hunting now. It's too hard for me with my knees and orthopedic problems to be walking. And
You're going to get that all fixed
Yeah,
up there,
hopefully.
losing all this weight and everything. You're going to be
Hopefully.
fine pretty soon.
hopefully,
So you've done big game hunting before?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer hunting? I don't know if that's not big game hunting, is it?
No, I haven't gone to Africa, but I've hunted deer and I've hunted elk and I've hunted pigs, and I like that.
Yeah, exactly. That is quite an ordeal from what I can see when I watch a film about the guys that go out and do that. Man, that seems like a real hike you got to do, and you've got to be patient. Talk about fishermen being patient. It seems like hunters also have to be pretty patient.
Friend of mine just went on a goat hunt. and it poured rain the first 3 days. And he's locked in.
Yeah.
And then he says it was so steep because goats can go anywhere. He says that I'm laying on this mountain, pulling myself up on my belly because I'm afraid to stand up because I'll fall off the hill.
Oh my God.
I know.
I love it.
I know. Well, Bill Poole was a big hunter.
Big.
Big
He did
hunter.
a lot of African safari stuff, and
He did a lot of stuff.
he did. What else can we say? It sounds like we're getting so close. I mean, you know how fast time goes. I can't believe 2023 is over. Can you?
No.
It's not over, but it's over.
Pretty much over.
Jenny.
Well, I want to talk about Evan, who is our grandson's one of his best friends.
Yeah.
He's away at college in Kansas or something
Yes.
like that. He used his own money to buy a ticket during the show so he can work the trout pond.
Yeah, he's
Really?
coming back to work the trout pond.
So maybe people didn't hear Jenny. Go ahead. You can.
Oh, this friend of my grandson called Evan. They fished. They illegally fish the ponds at all of the golf courses around.
My kids climbed the fence at Los Alamitos Race Course not that long ago.
And anyway, Evan spent his own money to buy a ticket. He's already got the ticket. He's coming back, and he's going to be working the trout pond at the shows because he loves it so much.
Wow.
And speaking about that, oh my goodness, basketball player
Brian Shaw.
Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
Brian used to jump the fence at the reservoir up in Oakland, and he'd go, and the cops would go like, Brian, get out of there. Yeah, we'll be there soon.
Exactly. You know what? If B. Shaw is free and the BART Hall Show is going on, he's going to be there.
He calls me, when he was coaching the Lakers, he would call, and then, they were doing it down there in the South Bay. He'd say, hey, I'm coming over in about a half hour. Can you get me in? I said, sure, yeah, I'll meet you out in front. So I'd meet him out in front, and he'd come in, and he was very good about people, because people would come up to him. But
he's awesome about
that. He's really a great guy.
He is.
The things that happened in his family that he took care of, he's a good man.
He truly is, man. I love
he likes
the guy.
to fish.
He loves to fish. He did his first trip to Mexico with us.
I know.
We went down to Los Barriles to Palmas de Cortez, and oh my God, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that was so much fun with him. And like I say, he will do anything to go to your show.
I know.
He calls me a lot and say, "Hey, when is the show?" Or I make sure I text him and let him know. Hey, Bishop, if you're not doing anything, we'd love to see you there.
I called him about 2 months ago for something. He's a great guy.
He is. He, one time, just to illustrate that, he offered tickets to a Laker game to my wife and I. My wife is actually from Costa Rica.
Yeah.
More crazy about going to a Laker game than, I'm, okay, oh, Laker game,
Yeah.
And so we're sitting at the game. We had great seats. He literally, during the game, he's coaching, turns around and starts going like this, and then he points at me and waves at us. Like he doesn't have enough on his plate trying to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. What a class act.
And a great player, a great coach, and a great person. Not necessarily in that order.
Right, exactly.
He's really something.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else that you're thinking of about the show or anything?
Well,
go ahead. Yeah, you got anything else?
No, I'm just thankful that we're able to continue to do it, and we hope people come out. We hope they have a good time. We hope they understand the change in the dates. We hope they understand the change in the days. These are things that are market conditions are driving all this stuff. And I think it's going to be excellent. I think, by the time we have the Long Beach show, January 25th to the 28th, and then shortly after we have Del Mar on February 15th to 18th, and then we have our boat show March 1, 2, and 3. And I think it's going to be a really good season. So we're pretty excited about it.
One problem I have with the Del Mar show is it's just too close to Mexico. When I had a booth there, I'd jump down to Mexico and go have dinner at Caesar's and have that authentic Caesar's delicious salad and come back and do the show. In fact, one year, my friend was the general manager at the Grand Hotel in TJ. So he said, hey, how many rooms you want? And so we stayed there. and then would come to the show and then go back that night.
Wow.
And it was great. It was
My
fantastic.
mom and dad used to take me when I was a kid to Caesars.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm a little child, and they come make this salad at your
Yes.
table, and it was Caesar salad.
There you are.
It was great.
I
And then we
remember
go to the
that.
highlight games, you know.
Yeah, oh my God.
Or the bullfights. My dad loved the bullfights, and I grew up loving the bullfights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, have you been to Caesars lately?
No.
It's a whole production now. A guy named Javier Plasencia is a big restaurateur
Yeah.
in TJ. I mean, you're right there. If you go to the Del Mar show, you can jump down there and enjoy the ambience of Mexico too. It's just fantastic. I love the Del Mar show. It's a little different. It's a little slower paced, for lack of a better word.
It is slower paced,
which is a good thing.
It's the only time I get to actually visit with my customers.
Exactly.
I don't get any time at Long Beach to visit with them.
Yeah, it's
But
too crazy.
But down there, we get to visit, and it's. I like that show a lot. I think the local people down there like it a lot too.
I do too. I think
Yeah.
it's so good.
One of my best friends down there is Ron Lane from Fast Lane Sailing Center. He said he sold more kayaks down there last year than he's ever sold anywhere, any place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
You're a big USC fan, aren't you?
Oh, really?
This is not bothering
Yeah.
you, is it? The
No,
Notre Dame flag?
I went
You're
to
also
Nor-
a Catholic guy.
I went
so.
to Notre Dame High School. Okay.
Oh,
so
shoot.
there you go.
You want me to drape you in the flag?
No, I'm fine. I am an SC guy. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but
Where, when they played Notre Dame, or just the
when
season
they
in
played
general?
Notre Dame, my
We went
goodness.
back to Notre Dame.
For that game?
Well, my son played at SC.
Played for USC.
Oh, God, that's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I won't rub it in too much then. Maybe a
So
little.
we will tell you this:
Yeah.
when you're a parent of an athlete and you go to these games, they seat you in really crappy places. You know, the corner of the end
Yeah,
zone
right.
up high. Not Notre Dame. They put his 50-yard line about 15 rows
Oh,
up.
nice. I'm happy to hear that.
Really, they really treated everybody well. It was a class
It did
thing.
snow.
It was cold. It was very
yeah.
cold.
Well, back there, that game's in October, right? And
Yeah.
It's November after
Yeah,
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was running around lighting candles and saying novenas before that game, and my wife looked at me and said, "Who's a Christian?" So she doesn't get the whole Mother Mary thing. And so she said, "Do you really think Jesus cares who is going to win that game?" And I looked her straight in the eye and said, "No, you have a point, but his mother does." Which frosted her, so
yeah. Well, there's always next year.
that's right. Hey, that is.
I
such
love
a-
football.
It's a great rivalry.
I love football. You know, I played football at a pretty high level. I thought I was going to play pro football. I actually had offers to play, but then I got hurt and couldn't play. But I love the game. I just love it, and
You like college ball or pro ball or
I like them both.
Yeah.
I actually like high school ball. I've been going to high school games because that's real football. You know? And I had a friend of mine. My grandson was 2 years ago was in high school. Now he's playing in college. We go to his games, but loved going in. And I went to go see my friend's son play in high school. But then the pros, you get to see these guys mature and do all this stuff.
That's true.
And I don't really care who wins pro games. I just like to watch how it's played. But college is probably my favorite of the three.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, speaking of Notre Dame football,
Yes.
no one can see what I'm pointing at. Jenny can see it, but there's a Notre Dame flag in here. I was doing the Fred Hall show or the BART Hall show in Del Mar. And this guy walks up to me, and he's wearing a Notre Dame, and he's a big guy. And I go, "Hey, nice to meet you," and he's like, "We're BSing," and I go, "Were you a football player?" He goes, "Yeah," and I go, "Where'd you play?" And he goes, "Played Notre Dame," and I go, "Oh, really? Shoot!" And now I'm like, "Who is this guy?" He looked really familiar to me. It was Aaron Taylor, who played for Holtz. He went on to play with Favre at Green Bay, won a Super Bowl. What a prince of a guy. Aaron, I haven't talked to you for way too long. I got to get back with him. But that was the BART Hall show got me together with this guy who travels to Mexico all the time, who does all the right things for kids, we did a trip where we used to take the kids from Catalina Island, the service workers' kids, fishing. You're well aware of that.
Yep.
He came out on that, and he's not one of those guys that's just sitting around. He's another Bisha out there working with the kids, making sure everybody's having fun, signing an autograph if you want it. But that opened a door for me that I'm very grateful to you for, and you didn't even know it.
Well, Notre Dame beat SC 13 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then the next year, my son was playing in that game when we finally beat him, and Holtz was still
Oh
the
my
coach.
God, that's great.
Okay, and we all came down on the field. We're in the field on the field. It was his last
Was
game
this Coliseum?
at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
His last game at SC, and we were all down there. And so I'm at the airport going somewhere, and then Holtz is sitting over on the bench, and I walked over and I says, "Hi, Coach. I don't want to rub it in, but my son played in that last game where we beat you." he said. He said it wasn't the kicker, was he? I said, no. He says, oh, okay.
That's funny. What position did your son play?
He played H-back.
Yeah.
And so H-back is this, small tight end, big fullback.
Yeah.
And so actually one game against the Illinois, I guess, back there, he actually started at fullback because the other fullback, the real fullback couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So, but you know, he was a really good player. He's big. He was like, he played at 248 at 6'2" and ran a 4.5 40.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
Man, I'd hate to have him run it.
Well,
going that fast.
Scared the hell out of me every time he would, because he'd go full speed to hit a linebacker, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, right,
But,
right,
but
exactly.
he's fine.
That must have been thrilling. I never knew that about you.
Yeah, and we got to travel all over the country
Yeah.
to watch these games.
Do you have one game? Was it the one where they beat Notre Dame on that last? Was that the highlight of?
That was one of the games. Yeah.
Who was coaching that?
Robertson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Coach Robertson. Yeah, that one, and then when he scored his first touchdown in the Coliseum, that was really exciting.
Oh my God!
You know,
you must have been ecstatic, huh?
We did. We had a motorhome, a beat up old motorhome, and we'd drive down early in the morning. We'd set up, and some people would come with, and we'd make breakfast, and then we'd make a lunch, and then we'd go in and see the game. Then afterwards, Travis would bring his buddies out, and we'd all feed them afterwards, and then everybody'd leave the park. We'd get home. It was a 20-hour day. You know?
My God, that's great.
That was so much fun.
We got to get off this SC thing because I'm afraid that flag might burst into flames. You know.
No, listen, I root
Do you have
for
any holy water with you?
I root for Notre Dame, except every game, except when they play SC. Yeah.
I got you. Hey, I'm in the minority around here. Believe me, it's all SC guys around here. So it's great stuff. Bart, it's been a pleasure. I can't wait for the shows, and you're going to have to promise me that you'll come back a few weeks because I think you may have new booths. You may have new details.
I'll have seminar schedules.
People.
I'll have pricing and all kinds of different things that we'll be able to do. I'll have some CCA news, all kinds of stuff. But it's going to take a little while to get that done. But yeah, love to.
Before you go, one more time, I want you to look into that camera, tell everybody why they should attend, number one, and then secondly, how they can attend. Where do they go? What website? That kind of thing. But first of all, why should they come to the BART Hall Show? Give it your best shot.
Well, it's the Fred Hall Show, and I would like to have called it that forever, but I can't, so it's the BART Hall Show. And I would like, people should come to gather together and celebrate outdoor recreation, fishing, hunting, boating, off-road. Everything is going to be there. And we want you to come and share with us, to go to the seminars, go to the entertainment that we have for families. And we are going to have cooking this year, which we did not have last year. We're going to have it again this year. And it's just a tradition that's known around the world. Our shows are actually talked about in many different countries. So come on out and join us. It'll be January 25th to the 28th at the Long Beach Convention Center. We're going to have a lot more parking up close than we've ever had before. Then we're going to February 15th to the 18th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. We have great parking there too, and it's going to be spectacular. We'll have a lot of stuff for CCA down there. And then we're going to do our boat show up in Fairplex at Pomona, March 1, 2, and 3. So come on out, share in the experience, bring your kids, wives, come on out, everybody come. It's a family show. We want to provide a full day's worth of family entertainment, and we hope you come and enjoy yourself.
And the website is, one more time again?
Hallshows.com.
Hall Shows, plural.
Hallshows.com. HallShows.com.
Perfect. Bart, it's so good to see you, my friend. You are looking fantastic.
Thank you.
I wish you
You're
continued.
my idol.
We'll work off each other. I'll be at the shows. You know that very,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
And Jenny, thank you. You're off camera. I don't know if you want to jump in here and say hi to everybody. No, she doesn't want to do that. It's great to see you, my friend. I can't wait for 2024. I know I'm wishing another year on this old body of mine, but I can't wait for next year.
Me too. I'm really excited about this one.
Thanks again, Bart.
Thank you.
Thank you.